November 2019. And the Indian captain will now go up against his nemesis, Team Saudi, in the World Test Championship final. The Kiwi pacer has bagged 51 wickets in this WTC campaign and is the only bowler to dismiss Kohli 10 times across all formats. But it's a bit more even in test matches. While Kohli hasn't been at his prolific best, Saudi has got the better of his former RCB mate only thrice in 5 tests. The two teams are brimming with quality players who can change the fate of any game. But the result of the WTC final might just hinge on who wins the Kohli versus Saudi battle. India have played twice in Southampton and lost on both occasions. New Zealand have never played at the Rose Bowl, but they come into the final after winning their first series on English soil since 1999. The Black Caps are also the only side to beat the Indians during this WTC campaign. But Virat Kohli's men love a formidable challenge. So log on to Disney Plus Hotstar at 2 PM this Friday to see if Team India can topple the #1 side in Test cricket to win the first World Test Championship. India kicked off their World Test Championship campaign with 7 consecutive Test wins. However, they couldn't book their ticket to the Aegis Bowl until the very last Test against England. In an amazing 2-year journey, Team India won all 3 series on home soil. Virat Kohli's men also picked up 2 important away series wins to seal a place in the WTC final. India's first World Test Championship challenge was against the West Indies, and Jasprit Bumrah dismantled the Caribbean crew with 13 wickets, including a hat-trick in the second test. Hanuma Vihari and Ajinkya Rahane were the batting stars, but Ishant Sharma notching up his maiden test 50 had to be the story of the series. Next up was South Africa at home. Rohit Sharma exploded as an opener on his test comeback, while the spinner spun away the Proteas' resistance with the bat. India's heavy hitters made merry against an average attack, with Mayank Agarwal, Virat Kohli and the hitman notching up double tons. Bangladesh too received similar treatment. The Indian pace battery hunted down the Tigers as Kohli's men became the first team to win 4 consecutive tests by an innings. The pace trio amassed 33 wickets in the series, with 19 of them coming in India's first day-night test in Kolkata. Making it the first home test win without the spinners taking a single wicket. India's first setback came in New Zealand in 2020. Their perfect WTC record took a solid beating as the Black Caps dropped Kohli and his men 2-0. India failed to reach 250 in any of the 4 innings, and the skipper had a forgettable trip, aggregating just 38 runs in 4 outings. The lowest point of India's campaign was at Adelaide, where they were shot out for just 36. Their lowest ever test score. But it only sparked a historic revival, starting with a series-leveling win at Melbourne. Then came the heroic Sydney Defiance, and Rishabh Pant activated Hulk mode to breach the Gabator. As India became only the second overseas team to win a series in Australia after losing the first test. Mohammad Siraj stole the show with the ball, but Rishabh Pant and Shubman Gill came to the fore to take charge of an injury-marred Indian side. India had to beat England with a 2-test margin to qualify for the final. But Joe Root put a spanner in those works with a smashing double hundred in Chennai. The defeat kicked the Indians into top gear, with veteran R. Ashwin and debutant Akshar Patel putting up a magical show. While Rishabh Pant and Rohit Sharma did their bit with the bat, the Indian spin twins ran rings around the England batsmen in the next three tests. Team India went unbeaten at home and created history abroad during the first WTC cycle. But their opponents in the final happened to be the only team to inflict a series defeat on Kohli's men during the campaign. Will history repeat itself, or will the table toppers exact revenge to become the first team to win the ICC World Test Championship crown? It's India versus New Zealand. In the ICC World Test Championship final at the Aegis Bowl. And you can bet one man will be in the thick of it all. Virat Kohli will be fired up as he seeks to be the first captain to get his hands on ICC's newest and perhaps most coveted trophy. The Indian skipper blew hot and cold across the WTC's two-year cycle, a far cry from his usual superhuman standards. While his genius usually sees him perched at the top of batting charts, he failed to break into the top 10 run getters in the World Test Championship. But he still scored at a healthy average of around 44, even though it was still way off from his overall record. India broke South African spirits across 3 test matches in October 2019, and Kohli's double hundred was the highlight of the clean sweep. In the second test in Pune, the Indian skipper feasted on the Protea attack. His unbeaten 254 setting up an innings win. The double hundred was the 7th of his career and the most by an Indian in Test history.
So 7th double hundred for Virat Kohli, and he becomes the sole Indian batsman to get the maximum number of double hundreds.
That unbeaten 254 wasn't just his personal best. It was also right up there among the very best performances in the inaugural WTC cycle. Kohli's Test career hit rock bottom on the 2014 Tour of England, where he failed to manage a 50 in 10 innings. But the Indian captain turned the 2018 series into a redemption tour, plundering nearly 600 runs to lead all scorers. Champions like Virat Kohli are born to sparkle when the lights are brightest. And there's no bigger stage than the first ever World Test Championship final. It won't be easy, given he will be up against New Zealand swing specialists in English conditions. But if India are to make history, they will need their captain's runs as well as his limitless energy.
bowling from Ashwin.
The final of the ICC World Test Championship at Southampton is the most significant test to be played over the last few years. And for Team India, it's also a chance for redemption at the Rose Bowl for the 2018 defeat. And one bowler who's expected to turn the tide in India's favour is off-spinner Ravi Chandran Ashwin. India leads the charts with 12 wins, which is the most in the event, and Ashwin leads the wicket-taker stats for his team. India will look to inform Ashwin against the Kiwis, who feature a few left-handed batsmen in their lineup. Barring the only game against Afghanistan, Ashwin's average against the Kiwis is his best against any opponent. As far as his performance in the ICC Test Championship is concerned, Ashwin is the most successful spinner in the event and third overall on the list of top wicket takers in the championship. The conditions in England where Ashwin is batting lineup and an opportunity to create history, it would be foolish to ignore the threat that Ravi Ashwin poses. Learning curve for young Pant. After bursting onto the test scene in 2018, he struggled to break into the first choice 11 in the first half of India's WTC cycle. But when the chance finally presented itself, the left-hander showed just why you can never write him off. As one of the finest in Indian history. Australia hadn't lost at the Gabba in 32 years. Didn't history down under with Rahane leading in Kohli's absence. Pant was his side's leading run scorer despite his fourth. In fact, no batsman with at least 500 runs in this WTC cycle could match Rishabh's rapid scoring rate. Kohli expect the Jadeja averaged close to 60. And when the men in blue returned for another tour 4 years later, he was neither the first choice spinner nor all-rounder and played just a single test. The southpaw would be hoping to put on an improved show in this all-important encounter and etch some new memories. Almost every time. The 26-year-old sent down the most overs for any Indian pacer in the 2-year cycle, and his WTC numbers were in tune with his overall test. Austin Chase to become only the third Indian to claim a test hat-trick. That stunning 6-wicket haul is also the best figures for any pacer across the 2-year cycle. Bumrah has played only 3 tests on English soil, but he did take a 5-wicket haul in Nottingham to help India Bumrah's 66. He even had the best New Zealand began their World Test Championship campaign with 4 losses in 5 tests. However, the Black Caps Kane Williamson picked up a rare duck, while the rest couldn't wrap their heads around Akila Dhananjaya. with a mammoth 251 in the first test, while Henry Nicholls took over with a belting 174 in the second. The Black Caps finally got their act Pakistan's fate was no different. They informed Black New Zealand's away form will be a major concern for Kane Williamson, and they won only 5 tests in Next up was South Africa at home. Rohit Sharma exploded as up double tons.
Legends are born in epic battles fought not over hours, but days. Over the decades, many great players have graced this glorious game.
That is extraordinary. One of the best covered teams.